Awesome, we're here. We're back, baby. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Elle.K here with another video. And as I'm sure you can see from the title, today we are doing a massive book haul. I think there's like 10 or 12 books here. Books that I didn't need to buy, but I bought anyways. If you didn't know, I don't think I've said it here, but I recently got a job at one of my favorite bookstores of all time, that is Chapters Indigo. So I've been there for about probably about a month now. So yeah, that's what I've been doing in July. I love it so much. And of course, working at a bookstore and me loving to read and being a booktuber, obviously more books have accumulated. Did I need to buy any more books? No, not really. But did I do so? Yes, I did. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into this video. Also, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe before you go.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly, look in my eyes.
So, the first book that I want to share with you guys is By the Book by Amanda Sellett. This book sounds, oh, can we see it? Maybe if I get out of the way, you can see it. I don't know if that worked or not. This book sounds so cute. It is a debut book for the author, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's a debut book. It sounds literally so cute. So we follow our main character who loves classics, and she especially like the love or like romance elements of classic stories. She's kind of like an aficionado when it comes to classic love stories, and she's found herself in the position now where when her friends start to fall for guys who kind of have not so good traits, or she feels have the same tropes that she reads about in the classic books, she kind of warns them against it and kind of helps them navigate how to deal with said relationship. She kind of reminds me of Hitch. I don't know if you've seen that Will Smith movie Hitch. She kind of reminds me along the lines of that. But then, of course, she finds herself falling for one of the guys that she consistently warns her friends to not fall for because of the classic love stories that she reads. And she knows that it's not going to turn out well, but she can't help herself. So I'm very curious to see and just so excited for this one. I think it sounds so cute. And like I said, it's giving me major Hitch vibes, and I love that movie. My puppy's screaming downstairs. She's fine. I'm sorry. It's giving me major Hitch vibes, and I love that movie. I think this is going to be really cute and a really fun read. So I'm very excited for this one. The next book that I have, I know, is a historical fiction. It's The Paris Library by Janet Skeslin Charles, and I know that it takes place in between 1939 and 1983, and that's really all I remember about it. I picked it up at work a couple weeks back, and I know I read the synopsis then and I liked the idea of it. I mainly picked it up because I was in the section where the book was lying down, and I thought the cover was really pretty. I'm that shallow book buyer, I know, and the fact that I work at a bookstore right now is definitely not helpful. But yeah, that was my main purpose for picking it up, because it looked really pretty. And it has like this really smooth, cool texture that I liked. So yeah, I'm assuming that I'm gonna like it because I did read the synopsis a couple weeks ago and liked it. So yeah, here it is. So the next book that I have is The Flip Side of Perfect by Liz Reinhart. It is a YA contemporary. I'm back in my genre. Yes, I know. And no, I don't care. So we are following our main character, Adele, who she kind of leads a double life. So when she's with her mom in Michigan, her parents are divorced. When she's with her mom in Michigan, she's kind of like this straight-laced, uptight, kind of like type A perfectionist. She goes to like a really preppy high school, and she's known as AJ there, and she's just like this very studious type of person. And then when she goes to her dad's house in Florida, she's known as Della, which I think is really cute. Like, I love that nickname. She's known as Della, and she is just like this really let loose, let your hair down kind of free spirit, and she likes to keep those two worlds separate. My puppy is really whining right now because she can't see me. I was playing with her downstairs, and now I'm upstairs filming, thinking that I would have tired her out and she would have had a nap, but I was wrong. Here we are. Anyways, yeah, so she likes to keep those two worlds separate, and things start to go awry when her stepsister from her mom's side ends up in Florida with her at her dad's house for the summer. It's a little bit hard to keep those two worlds separate when somebody from one world interjects into the other one. So, you know, it's kind of going to be, it sounds like it's going to be like a coming of age, finding yourself type of story. and I'm excited to see how that goes. These are usually really, really heartwarming and just like a quick, nice, fun, cozy read. So I'm very excited for this one. The next one that I have is also another historical fiction. It's called They Went Left by Monica Hess. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. A lot of booktubers have read it. Haley in Bookland read it, and I think she read it and she really liked it. So I'm very excited for it. It takes place in 1945, and we're following our two main characters, mainly the sister. So it's a brother-sister duo, but we're mainly following the sister, who is searching for her brother pretty much like right after World War II has ended, because in the heart of World War II, her entire family was sent to a Nazi concentration camp, and her brother were able to go left while her and her brother were able to go right while the rest of her family had to go left into a gas chamber. And they swore that they would find each other once the war is done. So she's now going to look for her brother. This sounds like it's going to be absolutely heartbreaking. But I haven't read a lot of World War II fiction. I haven't read any historical fiction for the year, I think. So I definitely want to start with this one. I think it's going to be really, really beautiful as well. But also just incredibly sad. So it's one that I'm intrigued to read. I'm not going to say excited, because I know I'm more than likely going to cry. But I've heard nothing, like I said, nothing but good things about it. And I've heard that it's really well written. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing how this story was put forward and laid out. The next book that I have is A For Aunties by Jessie Q. Satano. This book sounds like it's going to be absolutely hilarious and so much fun. It is an adult contemporary. We are following our main character. I say it's an adult contemporary, but it also seems like a mystery, because our main character accidentally kills her blind date. Yeah, I don't know how you do that either. But our main character does, and she ends up calling her aunties for assistance with this, which is something that she normally does. Her aunties are wedding planners, and it just sounds like this really kind of quirky, really funny family, honestly. And the idea that you've killed your blind date and the people that you call are your aunties, just sounds really fun. So I'm excited to read this one. It's kind of giving me My Sister, the Serial Killer vibes, but like a funnier, more relaxed version of it, even though murder typically isn't funny, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm excited for this one for sure. The next one that I have is Firekeepers Daughter by Angeline Boulley. I do not know how to summarize this for the life of me. I don't know why my brain has just automatically shut off, but so many people have read this and have been raving about it. So I'm just gonna read you the synopsis really, really quickly. So it says, 18-year-old Donis 14 has never quite fit in, both in her hometown and on the nearby Ojibwe reservation. She dreams of a fresh start at college, but when family tragedy strikes, Donis puts her future on hold to look after her fragile mother. The only bright spot is meeting Jamie, the charming new recruit on her brother Levi's hockey team. Yet even as Donis falls for Jamie, she senses the dashing hockey star is hiding something. Everything comes to light when Donis witnesses a shocking murder, thrusting her into an FBI investigation of a lethal new drug. Reluctantly, Donis agrees to go undercover, drawing on her knowledge of chemistry and Ojibwe traditional medicine to track down the source. But the search for the truth is more complicated than Donis imagined, exposing secrets and old scars. At the same time, she grows concerned with an investigation that seems more focused on punishing the offenders than protecting the victims. Now as the deceptions, yeah, I can't read today, okay. Now as the deceptions and deaths keep growing, Donis must learn what it means to be a strong Elle.K, so an Ojibwe woman, and how far she'll go for her community, even if it tears apart the only world she's ever known. So it's a thriller. There's a lot going on in this, and it just sounds really intricate, and like there's gonna be a insane amount of detail and things to keep track of, and I'm very, very excited for it. I love the representation that we're getting to see with this, so I'm very excited to see how this goes. I don't know if I'm going to do the physical version or the audiobook version of it. Somebody let me know in the comments down below if you have listened to the audiobook version of it, if it was done well, and if it was, I might do the audiobook and follow along with the physical. What I have is The Black Kids by Christina Hemmings Reid, and we are in 1992. Oh my goodness, 4 years before I was born. And it takes place in LA, and it's right after, or I guess like technically during the Rodney King riots. And we are following our main character, who is black, but twist, which I don't really think is a twist. It's just not seen enough in YA. Our black main character is in high school and she lives on the upper end of LA. She's actually from a pretty wealthy family and she's grown up in a predominantly white neighborhood in school. She fits in there really, really well. But then the Rodney King riots take place, which if you don't know, essentially LAPD officers beat a man, Rodney King, a black man, pretty much like half to death, and riots sprung from that. That's a very, very short version or synopsis of what happened. So now our main character is finding herself kind of having to question where she kind of fits in all of this, because she doesn't live in the black neighborhood, so she doesn't fit in with the black kids. She doesn't go through what is portrayed as like the classic black struggle, I guess, if you will. She doesn't really identify with that part, but at the same time, she's black living in a predominantly white wealthy neighborhood, and while she does fit the wealthy standard, she's still black. So she doesn't really know if she should be on the side of the white kids who don't really see a problem with what took place or the LAPD and police brutality, or if she should be, you know, kind of trying to fit in more so with the black kids and taking more of a stand. She just finds herself really, really conflicted there. I think it gives me the hate you give vibes, but done in a way where if Star was wealthy and living on the wealthy side of the neighborhood, I guess would be the way. And obviously if it took place in 1992. So I'm excited to see how this is done. I'm slightly skeptical because I just read another, what was the book? I'm Not Dying With You Tonight, which was supposed to be something along the lines of like two girls, a black girl and a white girl, trying to walk through this riot together and get home safely. That was just not done well at all. So I'm really hoping that this one is done well. Obviously it's different authors, but still that book kind of put me in a little bit of a reading slump. So I'm hoping that this one is done well. Next one that I'm going to talk to you about is Aftermath by Kelly Armstrong. I'm very excited for this one because we're following our main character who moves back into her hometown after a school shooting had taken place either the year before or a couple years ago. The caveat is her brother was the school shooter who then committed suicide after committing the act of the school shooting. I'm intrigued for this one because I've read books where you read victims of school shootings or friends of victims of school shootings, but never a perspective of a family member from the school shooter. Obviously, there's going to be mixed emotions for this. So I'm going into this book knowing that. And again, I'm hoping it was done in a sensitive but yet realistic and honest way. So excited to read this one. I haven't read anything like it, so I'm definitely excited to see how it was done. Obviously trigger warning for school shooting, but yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how this one goes. The next one that I have is Mexican Gothic. I saw this floating around on BookTube. I'm not gonna lie. Not BookTube, sorry, Book Talk, even though I have a TikTok that I don't use. So I literally just use it to watch funny TikToks. And then I came across Book Talk and saw this one here. I believe Sarah from Sarah's Reading Nook read this book last year and really liked it. It has something to do with a haunted house in Mexico in 1950, and I think that sounds really cool, and the cover of this is bomb. This is a beautiful, stunning cover. I don't know if I'm going to read it now, if I'm going to hold on to it for October, but we'll see. And the last book, guys, we made it. The last book that I have today is 100 Days of Sunlight. I don't know why I read it like that. 100 Days of Sunlight by Abby Emmons. I can say her name. So Abby Emmons is actually I don't want to say a booktuber, but she's a YouTuber. I guess she's an author tuber. She does all these really fun like writing tips and pretty much takes you through the journey of writing a novel. I've actually been watching a lot of her. That's how I found out about this book. And I'll tell you about why in another video. But yeah, this is her first published book. I actually got this. Did I get this on Amazon? I think I got this on Amazon. I'm very, very excited for it. And again, I'll read you the synopsis for it because I think it sounds absolutely amazing. So it's when a 16-year-old poetry blogger, Tessa Dixon, is involved in a car accident and loses eyesight for 100 days, she feels like her whole world has been turned upside down. Terrified that her vision might never return, Tessa feels like she has nothing left to be happy about. But when her grandparents place an ad in the local newspaper looking for a typist to help Tessa continue writing and blogging, an unlikely answer knocks at the door. Weston Levatico, I think that's his name, a boy her age with bright eyes and optimistic style and no legs. Knowing how angry and afraid Tessa is feeling, Weston thinks he can help her, but he has one condition. No one can tell Tessa about his disability. And because she can't see him, she treats him with contempt, screaming at him to get out of her house and never come back. But for Weston, it's the most amazing feeling to be treated like a normal person, not just a sob story. So he comes back again and again and again. Tessa spurs Weston's obnoxious optimism, convinced that he has no idea what she's going through, but Weston knows exactly how she feels and reaches into her darkness to show her there is more than one way to experience the world. As Tessa grows closer to Weston, she finds it harder and harder to imagine life without him. Weston can't imagine life without her, but he still hasn't told her the truth, and when Tessa's sight returns, he'll have to make the hard decision of his life, vanish from Tessa's world, or overcome his fear of seeing. This book sounds absolutely incredible, and I have really high hopes for it because Abby just seems like such an amazing writer, just going off of her author tube, and just such like a really cool person. So I have such high hopes for this book. The concept of it seems absolutely amazing. It's giving me what's that movie and book? Me Before You. Yeah, Me Before You. It's giving me that type of vibe, and honestly, the trailer for that movie still makes me cry to this day. So again, really incredibly high hopes for this one. This is definitely one that I'm going to pick up sooner rather than later. And yeah. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of this book haul. Thank you so much if you stuck around to the very end. You know that you are an MVP. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you have any of these books, no spoilers, but let me know if they were good, if you like them, so on and so forth, or also let me know if you've picked up any new books lately and what they are, and if you're excited to read them, and yeah, we'll talk about it in the comments. But until the next video, keep on reading. Bye!